All right, welcome back in Radio Row inside the Mall of America for Super Bowl 52. I call him the preeminent sports talk show host in the country. No matter who I talk to, I tell him he's the best. And that's Kirk Minihane from Kirk and Callahan. Kirky, how are you?
I'll take it. I would say that we did this, a year ago?
Yeah.
It may not have been true then, but I think it's sort of indisputable at this point.
Well, no more Francesa. Now you guys are number one.
I saw that on Jason Barrett's list. Of course, Jason Barrett's a consultant for the station. That in no way is related to how the list is put together. It's not at all related to that.
If you look at radio right now and this type of event, you have a fight break out today when you're doing a morning show.
Right.
Give us a little perspective on that.
Well, it was right behind us, the guys in Houston, and their show was really boring the first day and a half or so. They had, guests, 47 guests, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, this Josh Ennis guy, who I guess, comes in, starts
Very
screaming.
Well, yeah.
They're fighting back and forth, and I'm like, what is going on? So, of course, we then get our microphone onto them. We get the two guys on after the fight, and, we wind up getting content out of it. So it was a very bizarre, 15, 20 minutes, but it was great. I mean, it beat the hell out of talking to whoever. You know me. I'm
breaking down Tom Brady's 500 press conference.
Yeah, I'm allergic to it. I mean, I don't know. So you're by yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you're just rolling in guest after guest, or no?
Guest after guest, do
Right.
a little talk. I'm a Patriot fan, as you know. I'm
Right.
doing Philadelphia radio this week, so
Right.
that's a challenge on its own. And for you guys, I guess the big news this week was Alex Reimer with his comments.
Well, so
which I actually blame you for some of it.
Well, a lot of people have. So we've had Alex on the show a lot, and I like Alex to some extent. It's just there are certain things you just can't say.
Children and race.
Children and race, yeah. Children are off limits, and then when it's a child of the most valuable property to the station as a guest, I'm going to guess Brady bills, I don't know, $700,000-$800,000.
The opening to your interview has 9 sponsorships.
Right.
It feels
I
like.
mean, and it's not, it's Mercedes. It's effectively going after Brady like that is like going after a sponsor, and that's rule number one. You just don't do it. And it was not. I didn't find it amusing. I didn't think it was thoughtful. Don't think there was. If there's no upside, you shouldn't do it. Now, me of all people to say that, I understand there's some irony there, but it's something that it's going to be tough for Alex to walk back from, particularly in the city that he lives in. And Brady threw him a lifeboat or a preserver to some extent, but man, it was a wild. I'm pretty good at predicting the size and scope of things when they happen because I've been in the middle of some of those things. The size of which this happened, given A, that it was Super Bowl week, given B, it's not been a week of a lot of stories. Reimer's been the biggest story of Super Bowl week, I think. And maybe we're in a bubble, but I think that's true.
It's on the New York Post, right?
And New York Post, it was in USA Today. They talked about it on Fox
CNN?
News, CNN.
Did they mess up Jerry's face?
Oh,
they called him Michael Holley?
Yeah. So we had all that going on. It was crazy. And, we'll see what happens with Brady and us. I don't know. I think it'll be okay, but I don't know.
Now, not defending him because what I thought he said was ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
But being in a position that's 23, trying to make a name for myself in the business.
Yeah.
But you need to know you can't cross that line. He says a lot of controversial things.
Yes.
He's very edgy, of course. And I feel like part of it is he's trying to be like you, but he doesn't know when you need to shut up. Sometimes you don't know when to shut up, but you kind of get it now.
And he's not as good at it as I am. I mean, that's also part of it too. So I think you get frustrated, and also you get in our, I don't know how much you listen to our show, but you get in this bubble, in this, you jump into this cage that we sort of have, and this desire to top each other. Who's going to say the next crazy thing? And I think Alex went there that day with Mutt at night. Remember, it wasn't on our show, and I think he said, everybody is saying that this Brady thing is great, and I have this instinct too, where everyone's saying this thing, like you almost want to say, Can we just take a different angle? And he picked that angle, and it was stupid. There's no defending it, and I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know how it's going to end.
Aren't you the program director, basically, of the station?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, he's not.
Says it in your Twitter bio.
That's true. He's not going to be on our show anymore. I mean, that's just we have Brady on our station.
Wait. But you before have banned him before and then brought him back.
But I got outvoted on this one.
But stop it. You say outvoted. You have this whole shtick on the show where you say, oh, Jerry, I make your career. Oh, Tomasi,
true.
I make your career.
True.
So you don't get outvoted.
Well,
what you want to happen gets done, correct?
Not when Tom Brady's on your show. If the choice is
Brady's a little different.
Keeping Brady or losing Alex.
They're going to go Brady.
I mean, Alex is not worth any money to the company. You stick around here long enough, you guys know. I mean, that's all that matters. I can do my dumb stuff all day long. I can rant. I can rave. I can tell people not to listen to shows at the station.
Which you do.
Which I do. I could go and do dumb stunts. I can get in trouble. I can get suspended. I can go out. When our ratings go down and we're losing money because I'm on the air, the whole thing is cute. But then they say goodbye. There's the door. See you later. It doesn't matter if you're Kirk Minihane, Mike Francesa, Howard Stern, anybody. Any of these drips here, this idiot, anybody, it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
The irony in the fight, getting back to the fight, because I listen to your show. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Like how you genuflect to Christopher Mad Dog Russo, I'll genuflect to you.
I talked to Doug yesterday.
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce your name, right?
Oh, that hurt.
It's fine. Ask him to say Honolulu. He goes, Honolulu!
That's true. Boy, that new show in the afternoon, that fan's a firecracker, huh?
Oh, stop it. I'm not going there. There's some things I'm not going to go there.
What do you mean?
I have a very tight relationship with that fan.
Okay, what do you mean?
Okay.
So there's the line. So you won't.
Yeah, I'm going to be smart here. I'm not going to be like Reimer and call him a bunch of piss.
Do you think it's a good show?
I think it has potential.
Do you think it's currently a good show?
I like Maggie Gray. I like Chris Carlin. I'm still trying to figure out what Bart Scott is on the radio.
It feels to me like, and maybe it'll turn out to be a good show.
But here's the thing. You don't think any show is really good other than your show. I've never heard you say on air
Correct.
They have a good show.
That's true.
What you do is you look at their show, you listen to 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes that you don't like, and you guys will go in at it. That's what you guys do.
Yeah, I guess. But would you get?
I guess that's what you guys do.
What you have right now with the FAN show right now is three people who are trying to figure each other out. That's uncomfortable. It just feels like
wasn't your show though originally uncomfortable?
No, because John and Jerry have been together for so long. So you walked into a marriage.
But you and John didn't talk. You guys hated each other's guts.
No, but with two people, so it would be like if a floating third person joined Mike and Chris. Like,
okay,
it's
fair.
just different. Or Rich Keefe joining Dale and Holly. That hasn't worked, obviously. That show's a disaster. So you have a relationship with that. I'm on WEEI, and I'm saying the show's a disaster.
Yeah, that's fine. That's your career life. When I make your money and I'm in that position, then I'll do that.
I guess.
Talking to Kirk Minihane right now, but what I was saying, the irony in the whole fight situation was that if you told me going into this week a radio host would get in a fight, I think
upset.
it would have been you.
I'm not done yet. It's only Wednesday, but I am so upset. It physically pained me to watch that. It'd be like watching somebody else, it'd be like getting divorced, having somebody else pick up your kid on the weekends and hug and kiss him. I was watching people fight, but I felt like we were sort of in the middle of it, so I felt pacified to some extent.
Did you think it was genuine dislike both of those guys?
Well,
or was it stage radio?
Well, what happens is, I don't know about that, because we get accused of doing that. We don't. I know what happens is you get in the middle of these fights, and you get so pissed off. By the end of it, like, the only thing left to do is sort of laugh. It's like, unless you really do hate the people. I didn't get the sense it was genuine hatred. I got the sense there was something that pissed them off. I don't know what it was. I don't know. They told me that the guy Josh Ennis that when we were talking, we had them both on afterwards. And I said, how are you guys doing in Houston? He said, we're 16th, they're 18th. And I thought, wow. Jesus.
Josh was number one at one point in Philadelphia.
Yeah. That tells a lot about Philadelphia.
Oh,
I'm not one of your great talents. We had your guy on today, though.
Who? Eskin?
Yeah.
Oh, how'd that go?
I thought it was the most fun I had with a guest all week. But you know why? Because he
hold
was
on.
totally.
You could thank me for that little
You're
percentage
welcome.
bump in the
You're
ratings.
Because
I told you it was going to be a good
bonus.
guess.
What was good about it was he was totally in on the joke completely.
Oh, yeah. He knows how to play the game.
I said, he talked about Brady cheating. I said, did you read the Wells report? He said, no, I'm not going to read that. I said, I don't know how to argue with this then. And he's saying, he's talking about how, he's like, they're going to cheat in the Super Bowl. I said, well, what proof are you going to have? He said, none. I said, well, okay, it's tough to have an argument. That's the take you're going.
I was at training camp this summer.
Yeah.
He's standing next to Peter King, and I'm just sitting there, minding my own business, listening to their conversation, completely eavesdropping. And Peter goes, Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. And Howard goes, no, he isn't. He goes, Joe Montana never lost a big game. And I had Rob Parker on my show, who I think is a complete dope, and he's just made a career. Yeah, because he's afraid. He's afraid to go on with you guys because he knows your army will go after him and will attack him on Twitter, and people don't want to deal with that. Exactly.
I don't know.
People lose the fun in this business.
Yes.
But Howard just goes, oh, yeah, Joe Montana, he never lost, so he's better. Brady's been to more Super Bowls. So why do we credit Joe Montana for not getting?
Well, I had this fight with Ben Bowen of the Globe a couple weeks
ago.
I
don't like.
He was, but I like the fact that people don't like him.
Well, you know why I don't like him?
No.
I was in college. I was doing a show at Temple University. I go, hey, it's WHIP was the call letters, very similar to WIP. So I go, would you come on the show? It's WHIP. He goes, sure, no problem. Love to come on the Philly market. He'd love to come on WIP is what he said.
Right.
And I go, no, we're the student station, WHIP. He goes, don't want to be a jerk, but I can't do it. I've saved it as a text because I'm very petty, as you know it, as most radio people are. And then when I'm on a big-time successful station, I'm going to bring him on. I'm going to hang up on his ass right out of the gate.
When's that going to happen?
Maybe you should hire me. Maybe I should replace Reimer.
Nah, no kidding. Well, you know me. I'll go on. As long as I like the guy, I'll go on anything. I've never understood that because eventually I'm going to be 58 years old, and the guys your age are going to either have good deals with me or relationships or bad ones. What's the point? So you go and do 20 minutes with somebody you like. It's fine. Bowen's okay. He's kind of he's He's all right.
He's probably not a bad dude, honestly.
He's all right. So we had that fight. And so we're at the point now, correct, where you're starting to say to people, so you'd be better. Brady would have then, if he loses to Philadelphia this weekend, in Volan's mind, he would have then been better off to lose to the Jaguars. Thank you. No. Lose to the Jaguars and not make the Super Bowl? It's a stupid argument. You're giving people credit for losing, and so when Montana lost
but
to
that's
the,
our simple society right now.
When Montana lost to the Giants, when he fumbled in that game, right? Montana fumbled in that game, right? And
I wasn't even born then. You're looking at me asking me
Matt
questions.
Barr I think Matt Barr had a game-winning field goal. I was like 5. I know these things.
I was negative 18.
So Montana should get credit for losing that game and fumbling? It's because he didn't go to the Super Bowl? It's dumb. Brady, the argument, that's one of the things about Brady is he has ruined, as Callahan always says, he has ruined some of the great sports talk, staple, boring day in March debates. The greatest quarterback of all time is done. There's absolutely
no argument.
There's the greatest coach of all time is done. There is no argument. Belichick has been to 8 Super Bowls as a head coach. I don't care whose quarterback is. The greatest dynasty of all time, gone. I saw Tony Dungy today say they're not the greatest dynasty of all time. How could you say that? They've been doing this for 20 years.
He got in the Hall of Fame a little too quickly, too.
He did. Well, I'll ask you guys, who's going to go to the Super Bowl next year in the AFC? Gun to your head.
I'd take the Patriots.
Of course. They're probably going to go next year to their 9th Super Bowl. Probably.
What did you make of the Wickersham story?
I thought I've been hearing some stuff too. I thought he got a lot right, and I think in Boston, particularly on shows like us and other stuff where they want it not to be true, when you make little mistakes, like Jimmy G being outside of, which is not true, and Patriot Player of the Week, those little things, you then take that and say, well, this isn't true. This isn't true. Well, Belichick and Brady, I think this year developed tension, which I think when you work with somebody for 17 years,
you're going to have
it. And when there's massive success, I think that's part of the deal too. Do I think Bill Belichick's going to leave? Do I think Tom Brady's going to go away? No. I mean, it hasn't affected. That's the one thing about them. Deflategate, Spygate. I don't know. If somebody, killed 3 people and wound up committing suicide.
How dumb of an article, by the way, was that today?
Well, it wasn't.
In Philadelphia.
Do you know him?
I've interviewed him once. I don't really know him that well, though.
So it's one of those things, Chris Curtis, our producer, gives a bunch of stories, and I looked at it and said, this is so poorly written, I can't even really attack. Like, it's just.
I'm pretty sure it's the same writer who once said the Sixers shouldn't draft Markelle Fultz, and he prefaced it by saying, I've never seen him play a game.
Reasonable. Well, wasn't wrong, but yeah. Right.
And picture right now, I can't get on the court. He's a mental case, but how can you say that and you never watch him play a game? It's lazy.
It's bizarre. It is absolutely bizarre. So who's been the best guest this week, other than me, obviously?
I think you're like 4 or 5.
Who have you had
you know who's really good? Jermichael Finley. We had to dump 3 things he said because he dropped a lot of S-bombs. So it was real emotional about the whole CTE, concussion, everything.
Yeah, he's been into it, right?
It was very emotional and moving.
Do you get, given your relationship, your history, do you get Russo on or no?
We've done Russo a lot.
You want to do him?
It takes up 15 minutes. The guy never shuts up.
Pope, is he going to be on?
You want to hear my Francesa story last year?
When's he rolling in this week?
He's known me since I came out of the womb.
Right.
We're in the Houston Convention Center last year. I go up to him. I go, Mike, how are you? He goes, good kid. How are you? He goes, I go, good, Mike. And he goes to me, are you working here this year? I wanted to say, okay, Mike, you were on my show 3 weeks ago. You know I have a job and I'm employed right now.
Did he know who you were or no?
Oh, yeah, he knew who I was.
Yeah.
Puts on the sunglasses inside after 30 seconds and goes, good luck. Walks away, strolls off.
What's he going to be doing in a year from now?
I'm going to say he's doing something with Bill Simmons.
Ugh. I like Bill. He's a good guy. That's not. I don't know.
But Bill loves him.
No, I know.
And that's why it's going to happen.
Solo Russo is better than solo Francesa.
Yes, it's more entertaining.
When they used to be one of them,
when he used to talk about his kids and going to the airport and things, it's more entertaining.
Much more entertaining. Not as good as the afternoon show now on FAN. Obviously, that's a terrific show. It's a great show. And that guy with Boomer, tremendous.
You don't like Giannotti? You're
Giannotti.
so wrong on Giannotti.
I got to tell you, who was a great guy to me. And I'm actually going next week to the Springsteen show at Broadway. He gave me 4 tickets. Is Carlin? Carlin? I'm sorry.
Carden?
Carton gave me 4 tickets.
Gave you 4 tickets?
Yeah, 4 Broadway tickets. What? It should be fine, right? A couple Hamilton tickets as well.
You know what's funny? In our hotel room, he has some cologne or something. Yeah. He has Craig Carden. I'm not kidding.
He's at your hotel now?
No, he made cologne or something. It says Craig Carden cologne.
They have Craig Carden cologne.
I'm staying in a live-in in Brunsville or Burnsville. It's $1.15 a night, low AM budget. We got to afford it.
Well, honestly, we're at the Marriott across the street.
And it's a dump, right?
It's the worst Marriott I've ever been in my entire
life. But is that you just being Kirk Minihane?
No,
I'm a star.
I was talking to somebody at the Patriots today. They said the same thing. If you took the sign off, it looks like it would be like the hotel. This is a terrible thing. But I always think of the picture where Martin Luther King was assassinated, that motel. That's essentially what it looks like. I feel like I could drive the car into my room and just hang out there. It's the worst Marriott. And I like Marriott. I have a Marriott, whatever. I have all the points. Awful. Terrible. And you guys have a better spot here than I do. We have no room in where we are.
Well, you know why? Hold on.
I have the #1 radio show in America.
I don't care. How many Radio Rows have you been to? The Patriots are in it every year. I've been to more Radio Rows than you have.
So what?
They put me in a better spot.
That's ridiculous.
They rather showcase me than you.
Who's on next?
Coming up next, we got Nate Burleson coming up.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah,
he's actually
Can I
good. Don't
stick
roll
around
your
and listen?
eyes. It's on tape, so if you want to sit around and listen, go ahead.
Who else? How long are you on till?
I'm on till 6 p.m.
What time is it now?
It's what is it? Local time. It's 4:46 Eastern.
3:46. Mm-hmm. Oh, who's that? What's that voice?
That's Al Brooks. That's the great Al
voice.
Brooks. Oh, he's got a great voice.
Good voice. I wish I had that voice. Things would have worked out.
We had on so far Ross Tucker, Andre Tippett, Eddie Royal, Ryan Leaf, Jermichael Finley.
Eddie Royal, he's kicking around?
Dahani Jones, he's actually pretty good on air.
Yeah.
He's trying to get in the business. Solomon Wilcots, Jerry Kramer, Brian Billick, Marshawn Latimer, Golden Tate, Tony
Kramer
Gonzalez.
got into the Hall of Fame, right?
He's going to get into the Hall of Fame this weekend.
They haven't done it yet, right?
No, he's not. He's finally a finalist.
How is he not in? That's the weirdest thing in sports, like almost in the Hall of Fame history.
Well, Roger Goodell thought he was in. John Hanna thought he was in, and he's not. It's because his entire backfield got in. Everyone on the roster got in but him.
But he was all NFL 50-year anniversary team is the lead play and the most significant play at the time in the history of the league. You know. What's that?
Hold on. You got to turn your mic on.
Dad.
Aren't you in radio? Can't you understand how to do this? Speak into the microphone.
Yeah, instant replay.
Answer the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
I wasn't born then, and I know that.
Okay,
so
congratulations.
pay attention to stuff.
All right, yeah.
November '91.
You know what? There's going to be a radio fight in just a
Montana,
second.
November.
I'll knock you out. I'll send you to next week if we get into a fight.
I'm not. Here's the thing. I am absolutely willing. Christian Fourier was ready to punch me in the face. I'll take a hit.
You would have got murdered by
Christian.
Sure,
but so what?
Think about the press.
It's good ratings.
It's worth
good
the
for ratings.
What are you going to do?
The money.
Exactly.
Money.
Yeah, does Christian have a lot of money these days still?
I don't know. It's a good question. But Intercom does. So there you go. How about Imus leaving? I can't believe it. Boy, such a big impact the last couple of years. It's so sad he's finally leaving.
And we're brethren. We're brethren now.
Quack, quack.
We fly under the intercom
That's right.
flag.
I think everybody here does, is my understanding.
I don't.
Pretty much.
So how do I get? So I've got to get back to my room. I don't have a pass. I forgot my pass because I changed.
Good. How'd you get in? Oh, security. That's a security guy.
He's Kirk Minihane.
But I have to go to the Patriots. I have to go to the
Kirk
Patriots
Minihane.
thing. Yes. I got to go to the Patriots thing. Am I going to be able to get in there?
That's going to be trouble.
Into the Patriots? No, you're not going to.
So I have to run back. I can't run back.
Did you run into Guerrero last night? I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, right over there at the.
What was that? What was the honest conversation? Not like let me just say things about the radio.
He's like Brady. He's a super positive guy. So it was a positive conversation, which is I'm not comfortable doing. So, but he was very nice, and we've had issues, and he knows who I am, and came up to me. We talked. He gave me his side of stories and talked about Brady and the thing with Reimer. We had a good talk, and at some point during the offseason, he said we're going to reach out, we'll have a conversation. I'd love to have him on.
Do a podcast.
Here's the thing. I said to him, I don't even care if you go on with me, but I said, I'm just telling you, go on with somebody who's going to ask you tough questions. If you go on with somebody who asks you easy questions, nobody's going to care. Everyone's going to say, oh, he handpicked this TV bozo to ask.
Can't do a slap
question.
D interview.
You
can't
cannot.
do that.
You cannot.
All right, give me a prediction on this game. Yeah, go ahead.
You're going to walk out on the terrace tonight of your hotel room?
What's that?
The terrace on the hotel. You're going to walk out the terrace and the walkway of the hotel?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Probably not a good idea.
He's a little too young
Probably
for that
good
one.
idea.
I don't think
Probably
so.
good idea.
All right, before we let you run, give me a prediction on the game. Let's get to the boring part of this conversation.
I think it's going to be. I actually think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say 27-21 Patriots. That's boring, but I mean, don't you think the Eagles are going to win this game?
I actually think the Eagles are going to win this game. I'm a Patriot fan.
So you're going to pick against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick?
Their defensive line, their offensive line. The Patriots are going to win. They're going to have to get pressure on Foles.
Yeah, and they will. They'll find a way to. They're just going to find.
I hope so. From your lips to God's ears.
Yeah, I mean, Patriots 27, Eagles 21.